Hello and welcome. This is News Nationwide, reaching you from the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I am Lami Ali. The 6 victims of the University of Abuja abduction Tuesday morning have been rescued. This followed a swift joint security operation which tracked the kidnappers. Ilyasu Onotu Yakubu brings us the reports.
Freedom at last. But the last 72 hours have not been uhuru for the university dons and their loved ones. Thanks to the proactive efforts of the joint security agencies who gave the daredevil kidnappers a hot chase since the wee hours of Tuesday. The victims were rescued at about 6:55 Friday morning.
All the 6 abducted hostages were rescued on hot jointly by all the security agencies. As you can see, they are in this particular facility where they are undergoing medical check and they will be handed over immediately to the Vice Chancellor.
The Vice Chancellor, Professor Abdurrashid Na'Allah, is full of praises for the swift response by security agencies and charged institutions of learning to do due diligence and provide solutions to the lingering national insecurity.
We must help to resolve the problem in Nigeria because this is fundamental, and that is our job as thinkers for the nation. We're happy. Everybody, students and staff, go about your normal work. Be happy that things are now behind us by the grace of God.
CP Babaji Sunday commended the vigilante and hunters who joined the rescue team in their local terrain to bring the success story to bear. Ilyasu Onotu Yakubu, NTA News.
The last 5 days have indeed been trying times for relatives of victims who are trapped under the rubble of the collapsed high-rise building at Gerrard Road, Ikoyi in Lagos. As search and rescue operations intensify, the agony of waiting in hope is beginning to take its toll. Adeni Taiwo has the reports.
The first cloud of dust from the collapsed building had barely settled on Monday afternoon when some of these people, jolted by the news of the disaster, had converged here on the scene to monitor the search and rescue operations. They have in common a shared anxiety about the fate of their loved ones trapped under the rubble. And it is not comforting that only 9 victims have so far been rescued alive. Godwin Abel flew in from Abuja on Tuesday. His son, Emmanuel Abel, was among the apprentices working on the site before it collapsed on Monday. Although he has resigned to fate, he could not hide his pain as he told anyone who cared to listen that he wanted to see his son.
I want to see my son so I can return back to Abuja and tell my wife that our son that she gave birth to with only 1 wrapper, that I was doing Okada 2004 to survive with, is dead.
With more than 4 days gone into the rescue operations, the hope of many may have one thing. That is why, in empathizing with them, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu says the state government is offering psychosocial support to victims and their relatives.
We want to do the things properly, and properly meaning let's do it officially, with a pathologist and all of the things, in the event that we need to present these cases forward, in a criminal case. So far, more than 39 bodies, including that of the owner of the building, Femi Oshibono, have been evacuated from the debris from Ikoyi in Lagos. Adeni Taiwo, NTA News.
And the Nigerian Building and Road Research Institute has set up an investigative committee comprising of Lagos-based professionals and stakeholders in built environments with specific terms of reference asserting the immediate and remote causes of the collapse of the 21-story building in Ikoyi, Lagos. The building collapse team from the Institute's National Laboratory Complex in Ogun State has already visited the site to collect samples which will be subjected to thorough laboratory investigations and analysis. The Institute says the assignment is neither a probe nor an investigation of persons or organizations, but rather an established practice designed to provide a case history based on technical reports that is enshrined in scientific and engineering principles to provide new knowledge and information to forestall future occurrence. The Institute condoles the families of the victims of this avoidable disaster and prays for a safer working environment for all in the built environment. We now join Adeni Taiwo live in Lagos for more updates. Welcome, Adeni.
Good afternoon, Lami Ali.
Now, Lagos State government has since declared 3 days of mourning from your last report. Now, what feelers are you getting concerning this 3 days of mourning declared?
Can you take that again, please? I didn't catch that.
I said the Lagos State government has declared 3 days mourning in honor of those who died in the collapsed building, as you gave us from the information we got from your last report. Now, what are the feelers concerning that directive by the Lagos State government?
Well, what I can say is that apart from declaring that period of mourning, the Lagos State government is constantly engaging, with families of those who are caught in this incident. The governor of Lagos State has been here about 2 or 3 times, while his deputy has also been here severally. As a matter of fact, he was here earlier today, and the Commissioner for Information, Mr. Gbenga Motosho, just met with journalists, and afterward, he also related with families of victims, offering them the condolences of the state government and also the kind of support that they can expect to get from the state government. That is how it is, as touching, what the state government is doing to demonstrate, its sadness over what has happened.
We also learned that the Commissioner of Police in Lagos State was also there. What happened after his arrival?
Well, like I said, he had a briefing with journalists, and he released, an update announcing that one more body has been found. Of course, other sources put that figure at 2, but then the position of the state government is that one more body was found, this afternoon, putting the total at 38 for the state government. Also, 32 families have come forward to declare that they have people who are missing. So that is that about that. Then the state government also, the commissioner also announced that some bodies are ready for identification. The governor said that there will be autopsy, and that process has been concluded for some bodies, and they are encouraging families to come forward to, identify them. For those that are a bit difficult to identify, the state government promised that there will be a DNA test to ensure, to aid the process of identifying them. So that is that about that. They also talked about the panel, which was constituted, 2 days ago, inaugurated yesterday. The panel has begun its work, and they are not really encouraging the media. They don't want to put the panel activities or business under much media glare to avoid what the state government called, distraction from members of the public. But they are saying that it is not a secret, panel, that people can come forward, to make to put forward, whatever they want to put forward or witness how the panel will sit. It's only that they are not really encouraging the media to, be a part of it, so to speak.
Thank you very much, Adeni, for the update, and we hope that more bodies will be recovered from the rubble of that collapsed building. Moving on, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo is greatly saddened by the events that occurred in Lagos on Monday, 1st of November 2021, where a high-rise building under construction on Gerrard Road, Ikoyi, collapsed. The Vice President condoles with the families and relatives of all those who have died, the injured and those affected in the collapse. He considers this painful loss of lives a horrible tragedy. A statement by Laulo Akonde, the Senior Special Assistant to the Vice President on Media and Publicity, indicates that the attention of the Vice President is drawn to a false report by Sahara reporters that the Vice President owns the land upon which the collapsed building in Ikoyi stood. This, it said, is not true. The Vice President does not own any and has never owned the said land, and has also never been involved in any shape or form in the development of this or any other land since he became the Vice President. The statement emphasized that at no time whatsoever did the Vice President buy any piece of land from Chief Michael Adeoju or entered into any transaction for the sale of land or any other piece of land from Chief Adeoju or anyone. Now to Anambra State. The electorate in Anambra have expressed their determination and readiness to cast their ballot for the governorship election this Saturday. Chinyere Efesiokoyi has more on this and people's expectations from the Independent National Electoral Commission.
Less than 24 hours to the Anambra State governorship election. How prepared are the electorates in the state to come out tomorrow and cast their ballots in favor of their choice candidates?
I'm prepared already. By God's grace, I'll go out and vote.
I'm fully prepared to exercise my franchise.
I'm even encouraging more people to come out. Already, the IPOB has revised what they said.
I have my PVC. I'll go and vote tomorrow.
With the electorates fully prepared for the November 6th poll in Anambra State, what are the expectations from the electoral umpire, INEC, and other relevant authorities?
Try and make sure it is a free and fair election.
They should play level playing ground for every candidate and make sure they say what the people said.
To make everything to be orderly and have this securities.
The eligible voters in Anambra State are appealing to those in charge of the electoral process to ensure that their votes count at the end of the day. In Oka, Chinyere Efesiokoyi, NTA News.
We go now live to Oka, the Anambra State capital, where our correspondents Nnamdi Odupo, Mie Ogidi and Ekene Ndulwe are on ground to keep us up to speed with happenings in Anambra State governorship election that comes up tomorrow. Gentlemen, you're welcome to Nationwide.
Thank you, Lami.
Now, let me begin with you, Nnamdi. As a follow-up to the low activity there that we are witnessing in Anambra, as you reported earlier, is the town still quiet or are more activities picking up?
Well, Lami, I'm pretty sure you got the ambience from where I am. I'm actually stuck in the vehicle. Of course, our crew, we've been monitoring events since a couple of days now, since we arrived the state. And so I can reliably tell you that things have since changed since the last time we came on there and gave you the report about the near deserted state of the roads and all of that. I am at a very popular junction somewhere in the center of Oka, and where just a couple of hours ago, about 2 hours ago, I could count the number of vehicles that plied these roads in 1 hour. But Lami, I can tell you that things have since improved. People are coming out. If you can hear the ambience, there's this banging noise somewhere from my far left. That's how would I describe it? It's a place where it's a social event center where people gather, say, to spend evenings and have some good time. That place is already open, but of course that will close before the restriction of movement enforced or declared by the Inspector General of Police comes into effect. But the point being that, Lami, things are fast picking up. We anticipated this, was seeing people come out now. We're hoping that these would carry to tomorrow, and then people can, knowing what the police have said, believing that the police would also come through, people will come out and participate in the polls, Lami.
All right, Mie is at another location from what I'm seeing. Now, Mie, how ready is INEC for this election that comes up tomorrow? Mie, can you hear me? Mie?
Namdi.
Mie, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Lami.
All right. You are standing at a different location from where Namdi just gave us an update on the situation in Anambra. Now, how ready is INEC for the election coming up tomorrow?
The elections, please come again.
Yeah. Tell us where you are standing right now and how ready INEC is for the election coming up tomorrow.
Okay, INEC is fully prepared. Few minutes ago, that was during political update 2 p.m. today. I had one-on-one with the resident electoral commissioner, Anambra State, Dr. Oji, and he assured us that all the materials have been safely delivered, sensitive materials and non-sensitive materials, this security situation too is very calm, though the roads are getting drier by the second because some residents are going to their communities to go and cast the ballot. But I met a youth here, Tony. Tony, come, let me hear from you. Tony is a youth, and when sometimes people talk of crisis, they attribute to the youth. But Tony here told me that he's ready to cast the ballot. So Tony, let's briefly hear from how prepared are you for tomorrow's election?
Yeah, not only me, our people, all of us now as Anambra now, as Anambra is the king of Igbo land. And our election is always like that. It's always like that. But this one, God have taken control with the effort of His Excellency and Nigerian Army and Nigerian Police. Their efforts, the state, I think we are in the safer side now.
Thank you very much.
All of the parties, most of the parties, we saw the major contenders and others, of course, participate in the event which took place yesterday. And we know that it will trickle down to their supporters and, of course, to the people of Anambra as well. This is a move that we expect that all involved, all concerned, would embrace. So we expect that the message would have gone forth as at yesterday, and we expect that people will conduct themselves orderly. They will be gentlemen. This is, after all, a game. There has to be a winner. There definitely will be losers. We expect that at the end of the game, the winner would be magnanimous in victory and would extend his hands of fellowship to others. And we do expect that the losers, I beg your pardon, would also, accept their faith in them, accept the outcome of the result in good faith. And peace would continue to reign, Lami.
Let us now join Ekene from another part of town in Oka. Now, you are out on the street. Tell us what the security situation is like in that part of town.
Okay, the security situation is such that the police, the army, the civil defense are dominating everywhere. Every few minutes you see a patrol van or you see some patrol vans going around the places. So right now the whole place, if you move around town, all you see is police, army, civil defense, and this is kind of bringing a kind of assurance to the people that tomorrow will be safe for people to come out and cast their ballot.
Namdi, Mia and Ekene, thank you very much for that update from Anambra. Still on security issues, the Nigeria Police Force is putting several measures in place to protect the sanctity of the electoral process in the Anambra governorship election. A Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of operations, Zaki Ahmed, who was speaking alongside other guests on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria, says the efforts are expected to provide the needed confidence for people to go out and vote. Ulushi Adiabo has the details.
And even devoted to their hideouts. We are reading all criminal hideouts and black spots. So I think the citizens can see for themselves the level of security in all the counties of the state. And we are collaborating with other security agencies.
Head of police election duty in Anambra, DIG Saki Ahmed explaining the provision of the Nigerian police force to ensure enabling environment for all parties and the electorate to freely go out and take part in the election. On his part, Festus Okoye, INEC National Commissioner in charge of voter education and publicity, clears the air on not deploying electoral materials and personnel to 86 of the 5,720 polling units in Anambra State for the November 6 governorship election.
Those polling units were not populated by voters during the continuous voters registration exercise. And we also made available to them the fact that out of that 894 polling units have between 1 to 49 registered voters.
Election observers who blamed the worries and tension ahead of the election on fake news and rumor mongering say they are expecting voters to shun intimidation and play their part in the decision-making exercise.
So we are hoping and praying that the Anambra people will come out this time around to show that they understand why they have to come out.
We have continued to urge that security agents present in Anambra abide by code of conduct and respect the human rights of the voters. And
the guests expressed optimism that there will be free and fair election in Anambra come Saturday. In Abuja, Olusheye Ediagbo, NTA News.
Now, the Nigerian army says no soldier of the Nigerian army escorted fake voters into Anambra State, contrary to a misleading information. A statement by the Director, Army Public Relations, Brigadier General Onyema Nwachukwu, says the buses in question were conveying INEC permanent and ad hoc staff for the election in Anambra State. The statement notes that the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture has corroborated this position and urged the public to disregard the fake reports. The duty of the Nigerian Army in Anambra State is security-related and in support of the Nigeria Police, which is the lead security agency in the security architecture of electioneering. In few days to the Anambra governorship election, civil society organizations have continued to appeal to secessionist groups and other unlawful bodies not to interfere with the legitimate process of ensuring a peaceful democratic transition in the state. Abubakar Usman Akwanga reports that the latest is coming from the Center for Democracy and Development.
Anambra election is now the center of national discourse owing to the rising insecurity threatening the peaceful conduct of a legitimate process of ensuring periodic change of power. Now the build-up of fears and anxieties of the last few months should not be allowed to persist and subvert the people's will in a state that has prided itself as the light of the nation.
IPOB's declaration that it will enforce another sit-at-home order, locking down the entire region before and after the election, has only added to the prevailing apprehension. While the extraordinary deployment of police and security agents to the state will likely ensure that elections are held.
The Center for Democracy and Development appreciates the proactive measures taken by the federal government to secure the atmosphere for each free and transparent poll. The center appealed to security agencies to respect the rules of engagement and douse tension to avoid voters' apathy and intimidation. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
And away from the Anambra State governorship election, electric vehicles are integral parts of the transition to clean energy and sustainable transportation. At the ongoing Climate Change Conference in Glasgow, the National Automotive Design and Development Council showed the capacity of Nigeria to produce electric and gas-powered vehicles to significantly reduce carbon emission in line with the net zero target of the Paris Agreement. Onangie Fineface has the reports.
Moving faster, greener, cleaner, safer and noiseless. Nigeria has joined the race with a show of capacity to produce electric vehicles and advance the nation's plan to use gas as a transition energy by leveraging technologies in auto gas powered vehicles. A presentation on the role of electric and auto gas-powered vehicles development project in promoting carbonless transportation in Nigeria on the sidelines of the UN Climate Conference COP26 in Glasgow by the Director General of the National Automotive Design and Development Council, Jelani Aliyu.
In terms of the start of the production of 70 electric vehicles in Nigeria, it really goes a long way towards helping Nigeria achieve those targets.
The enormous potentials of this technology to create jobs and make mass transit systems more effective and affordable. With our national commitment to get to net zero by 2060 and dedicated electric vehicle charging points underway in Sokoto, Lagos, and Nsukka, what is left is a public-private partnership to scale the production of these vehicles and put Nigeria on the backs of the eagle in the race to sustainable transport. Onengiye Fine Face, NTA News.
You're watching Nationwide News. We're now going for a short break. When we return, Adeola will take up Nationwide from that end.
Nigerian youths are about the greatest assets the country has at the moment. It is therefore not surprising that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is strategically responding to the yearnings of the youth through multiple projects and programs. Youth Entrepreneurship Support Years by Bank of Industry, the Youth Investment Fund by the CBN, and several other conditional cash transfer programs. Recruitment of 774,000 social workers, majority of whom are youths, and so many other projects that are beneficial to youths directly or indirectly. If the administration can do all this, definitely with a degree of patience and time, it can achieve more. Nigerian youths must come together to say no to terrorism, no to vandalism, and no to all disruptive tendencies. Hashtag Youth for Greater Nigeria. Pacifying the youths, unifying the nation.
Media ecosystem is dynamic and requires continuous training for practitioners to perform optimally. NTA TV College Jos invites relevant officers to the following specially packaged training programs. Transmitter operation and maintenance. Date 1st November to 5th November 2021. 1 week. Photojournalism and photography. Date 8th November to 26th November 2021. 3 weeks. Advanced broadcast accounting and auditing. Date 22nd November to 3rd December 2021. 2 weeks. The course fee for the 3-week course is 130,000 naira per participant, while the fee for the 2-week course and 1-week engineering course is 100,000 naira only per participant, accommodation inclusive. The venue for all courses is the serene and secure environment of NTA TV College near Old Government House, Rayfield, Jos. For more inquiries, please call 0803-314-4383 or 0806-980-9807. NTA TV College, Jos, training you to be the best you want to be.
Chelsea will be hoping to continue a hat-trick of victories against teams in the relegation zone when they welcome Burnley to Stamford Bridge. Will they succeed this Saturday? It's Chelsea versus Burnley on the Premier League Live, showing on the network service of the NTA from 3:30 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Baba Ijebu and powered by Integral.
Thank you for staying on to Nationwide on the NTA and welcome to Lagos. Strengthening the operational capability of a Nigerian army for effective and efficient service delivery remains utmost priority of a National Assembly, as it is committed to giving the army necessary support and tools to execute the mandate that is highly expected. Chairman, Senate Committee on Nigerian Army, Senator Ali Ndume, gave the assurance during the committee's oversight visit to the Nigerian Army 81 Division in Lagos.
Nigeria is grappling with security challenges that include insurgency, banditry, and kidnapping. To curb and finally defeat these threats, the Nigerian Army requires equipment, weapons, armor fighting vehicles, platforms, and combat enablers. Visit by members of the Senate Committee on Nigerian Army is to have a better understanding of operational challenges of the force and find a way of addressing them. Chairman of the Senate Committee, Ali Ndume, said the Army has a daunting task of mitigating the various security challenges facing the country, adding that the National Assembly plays an important role in terms of giving necessary legislative support to the Army.
We cannot meet all the demands 100%, but because of the priority, I'm sure Nigerians, if you say you will take all the budget and give it to the Nigerian Army so that we'll have peace, they will say, well, yeah, go ahead. But we will not, we'll try to see what we can do to make sure that we have the Nigerian Army. They need to get what they need in order to prosecute the war, these days especially.
The committee is expected to visit other army formations across the country in preparations for the 2022 appropriation budget for the army. In Lagos, Kende Adebisi, NTA News.
As prelude to the deployment of 5G network in the country, the Nigerian Communications Commission (NCC) is engaging stakeholders on content and grey areas of its draft information memorandum for 3.5 GHz technology services in the country. Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Professor Isa Ali Pantami, in his message to the forum, explained that 5G deployment is key in actualizing the federal government's national digital economic policy and strategy. Michael Olaleye reports.
The transition from 4G to 5G is not basically about internet speed and connectivity, but penetration and increase in mobile usage, as seen from records that the chunk of the broadband penetration of 40% as of September 2021 evolved from upgrades to 4G, and 5G offers more prospects. This forum is following up on a memorandum for the auction of 3.5 GHz, which will be utilized for early deployment of 5G technology services in the country, after a committee vested with such responsibility has drawn a draft.
It will enable novel use cases in applications that will positively impact on different sectors of the economy and improve our efforts towards achieving the digital economy objectives of the federal government.
For transparency and accountability in the sale of this common national heritage, the federal government thought it wise to involve relevant stakeholders in the process so that the general public is carried along.
There are 2 slots for auction in the first phase, with a reserve price of 75 billion naira and an initial bid deposit equal to 10% of the reserve price. Stakeholders here raised concern on various issues, ranging from the reserve price and the licensing time, which is put at 10 years.
One of the things we said was to draw attention to the fact that rather than increase the price, we might consider increasing the tenure instead.
Going the 5G way is not just about global necessity, but a vital tool for entrenching the national broadband plan for economic growth. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NTA News.
Those are the stories from Lagos for now. Lami is back to you.
Thank you, Deola. The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Hadia Umar Farouk, has announced the commencement of the NPA and Knowledge Program in the 6 geopolitical zones and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. A statement by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Bashir Nur Al-Ghali. The Minister says Knowledge is a component of the NPA program aimed at equipping young Nigerians with relevant skills and certification to become competent workers, innovators, and entrepreneurs prepared for both the domestic and global digital job markets. The training is also targeted at developing youth competence in software development and hardware maintenance, expected to make Nigeria compete in the outsourcing market for software development, and will position 20,000 young Nigerians on the global radar as exporters of world-class services and content in the creative and information technology sectors. The Defense Headquarters is leveraging a non-kinetic approach to support ongoing military operations to stem criminality. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Rabo, stated this in a message to the commencement of a capacity-building workshop for public relations and information officers in the Armed Forces of Nigeria. Some of the issues expected to be discussed as the workshop include different dimensions of conflict-sensitive communication, proactive ways to address fake news, and the need to adequately fund public relations and communications in the military.
To ensure that public relation and information officers are able to meet up with the current and future realities of defense information management. This non-kinetic approach goes handy with our kinetic efforts towards surmounting emerging security threats in the country.
The one-day capacity workshop is themed Proactive Conflict-Sensitive Communication and Defense Information, Emerging Issues and Strategies in Media Relations. And Abubakar is in Maiduguri for more reports from that zone. Hello, Abubakar. You're welcome on Nationwide.
It's really good to see you, Lami, and thank you for joining us in Maiduguri. In its continued drive towards reconstruction and resettlement of displaced communities, Borno State government, in collaboration with the Nigerian military, has reopened Bama-Banki Cameroon Road to pave way for trans-border trade. Governor Babagana Umar Zulum performed the reopening ceremony at Banki Junction at an event attended by the Shehu of Bama, Umar Ibn Kyari El-Kenemi, and the Theater Commander Operation Hadinkai, Major General Christopher Musa. Mohammed Goni will now tell us more.
Bama Banki Road, said to be famous for the erstwhile trans-Saharan trade, remains strategic to the recovery process already commenced by the governors of the Lake Chad Basin region as the road links Nigeria to the Republic of Cameroon. Stakeholders of the area and the leadership of the Union of Road Transport Workers were elated by the development, which they say will restore livelihood of the people of the area.
This road would boost the livelihood of not only people of Bama, local government, and indeed Borno, and indeed the entire country.
Governor Babagana Umara thanked President Muhammadu Buhari and the Nigerian military for their unwavering commitment to restore peace to the northeast and Borno in particular, and tasked the citizens to be resilient, law-abiding, and cooperate with the security operatives.
We shouldn't be deterred by actions of you criminals. We shall remain resilient.
Theater Commander Operation Hadinkai, Major General Christopher Musa, who noted the zeal and commitment of Governor Zulum in every aspect of governance, said reopening of the important road was a pointer that the war is being won. Council Chairman, Bama local government, Ajukolo Kachala, appreciated the state government for reopening of the road, which he said will touch the lives of the people of the area positively, as it is expected to raise commercial activities of the citizenry. 10 patrol vehicles were presented to the military personnel, police and civilian JTF to secure the road.
Opening of Bama Banki Road, the authorities say, will not only strengthen the stabilization of the region, but it will also enhance cross-border trade and build the resilience of the communities. From Bama, headquarters of Bama local government, Mohammed Goni, NTA News.
Thank you, Goni. Borno State Governor Babagana Umar Zulum has paid an unscheduled visit to Gwange 1 Maternity Hospital and Gwange 2 Primary Healthcare Center in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, for on-the-spot assessment of the health facilities. Here again is Mohammed Guni with the rest of the story.
At Gwange 1 Maternity Hospital, Governor Zulum interacted with patients on admission who expressed satisfaction with the services they received at no cost. He also interacted with the staff who briefed him on the operations of the newly inaugurated hospital, which was said to have attended to 340 pregnant women in 1 month, and the staff are punctual to their duties. Professor Zulum, who was impressed by their performance, also gave approval for entitlement of the newly employed and directed that ambulance be given to the hospital and submit all requirements for prompt attention, as well as installation of solar power and additional generator for the borehole. He urged the Health Commissioner Juliana Bitrus and the CMD Hospital Management Board, Professor Arab Alaji, to maintain the staff strength in the hospital to sufficiently stabilize the system. The story was, however, different at 16-bed capacity Gwange 2 Primary Health Care Center. The governor visited at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, where only one staff was on duty out of the 29 on the nominal roll, and no patient was seen at the hospital facility. Governor Zulum also indicted a staff who reportedly collects money for services being rendered.
The most disappointing issue is that of collection of money from patients. We receive a complaint that patients do used to give at least 8 to 10,000 naira for them to be hospitalized. This is so obnoxious.
The governor was accompanied by Commissioner for Health, Juliana Bitrus, and the CMD Hospital Management Board, Professor Arab Alaji. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni.
Thank you very much, Abubakar. To address issues associated with the review of national minimum wage, the National Salaries, Incomes and Wages Commission will be embarking on monitoring of compliance on the implementation of the national minimum wage to enable governments and employers plan ahead for the next national minimum wage. The chairman of the commission, Epo Nta, says the idea, which will be an interagency collaboration, is meant to gather evidence on compliance and difficulties faced by stakeholders.
About this monitoring is that it's to allow us to begin to plan for the next National Minimum Wage Act.
Similarly, to succeed in the formulation of remuneration policies, especially in specific sectors like health and education, particularly at tertiary levels, the Commission is requesting for updated statistics of staff in federal hospitals, medical centers and clinics, in ministries, departments and agencies of governments. Now, the National Association of Academic Technologists, NAAT, is appealing to the federal government to consider the approved templates designed for job peculiarities in the allocation of earned allowances recently released to the unions in universities. The concern of the union is on the 22 billion naira recently released by government, which is generating tension among the four unions. The technologists therefore wants government to honor the memorandum of understanding signed with centered on fair allocation based on National Income, Salaries and Wages Commission approved templates.
Salaries and Wages Commission has released a circular to NAT saying that NAT is entitled to this occupational hazard allowance. It also released a circular to sister unions specifying who are entitled to this occupational hazard allowance. And it is only meant for those in labs, in workshop, and in studio who are routinely exposed to this hazard. Because it's not shared allowance, it's earned allowance. And if government continues to lump people together, you get to the university, say share across board. How do you share it across board? Somebody who is in Vice Chancellor's office, in the Kuzi office of the Vice Chancellor, what is his business with occupational hazard allowance?
Recently released earned allowance is the third in the series, and NAAT says fair allocation can prevent industrial unrest if fair formula is applied. And it's time now to join Lanre in Ibadan for more reports on Nationwide. Hello, Lanre, it's over to you.
Thank you, Lami, and welcome to Ibadan. In continuation of the Senate Committee on Army Oversight Function, a visit has been paid to the 2 divisions of the Nigerian Army in Ibadan. Lanre Gbilei was on the entourage and now reports.
For the Senate Committee, these on-the-spot assessments will give them the required information they need in funding the Nigerian Army. The oversight tour the Senate Committee reviewed has been replicated in all army formations and units across the Federation. It is now the turn of the 2 divisions of the Nigerian Army in Ibadan. The GOC, Major General Gold Chibuze, took the senators round the Adekule Faji cantonment on ongoing projects, accompanied by the top brass of the army.
You cannot allocate without seeing and feeling the activities that is in the Appropriation Act. So that's why we are here, and you too have witnessed, have seen some of the things that the second diff is doing.
The committee noted that the assessment will put them in good stead in making informed decisions concerning the army. From Ibadan, Larry Bileyi, NTA News.
The warning strike embarked upon by the Association of Government General Medical and Dental Practitioners in Kwara State is already taking its toll on the patients at some of the hospitals. Damilola Balogun-Elebio has situation reports on plights of patients.
The ever-busy Ilorin General Hospital, which is usually characterized with large inflow of patients, is now a shadow of itself as the environment is very scanty. The Association of Government General Medical and Dental Practitioners in Kwara State is embarking on a 7-day warning strike to protest low income and wrongful taxation on the salary of members.
It all centers around good working condition for all the doctors and other health workers in the state. We wanted more personnel, especially doctors, to come into the employment of Kwara State government.
They should pay the doctor's salary on time so that they will be able to treat the injured person on time.
Patients that are already on admission with us, a number of them have been referred to other places where services are being rendered.
The Association of Government General Medical and Dental Practitioners is saying once government addresses their demands, they will resume work again. Damilola Balogun-Elebio, NTA News.
Let's now rejoin Lami in our Abuja studios for continuation of Nationwide.
Many thanks, Lanre from Ibadan. And as Nigeria and China strengthen collaboration to promote traditional medicine, the Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation says Nigerian youth who are interested in harnessing the enormous potential in traditional medicine practices will be supported to thrive. Elizabeth Omorui reports that the Minister of State, Science, Technology and Innovation gave the assurance at a Nigeria-China seminar on traditional medicine put together by the Nigerian Youth Congress.
Traditional medicine and medical aspects of traditional knowledge developed over generations, the World Health Organization says, is a sum total of skills and practices based on theories and experiences indigenous to different cultures, whether explicable or not, used in the maintenance of health. Harnessing the enormous potential in traditional medicine practice is the reason for this forum targeted at the youth. Key players in traditional medicine say with adequate education and well-funded research in natural medicine, ailments can be managed and treated.
Herbal medicine will hit close to about $50 billion by 2030. Therefore, it is important that youths are sensitized on the knowledge of herbal medicine from natural products for the treatment of diseases.
Not only use the technology of medicine and try to build a project not only benefiting the people but also benefiting the economy.
Experts at the forum believe that the youth have an important role to play in improving the Nigerian economy.
We have to see whatever we can to support the traditional medicine. It will create jobs for the young people of this country.
Traditional herbal preparation accounts for 30 to 50% of total medicinal consumption in China.
Issues bordering on dosage, documentation and research were also raised. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omorui, NTA News.
Let's now join the Sokoto Network Center, where Asma'u is standing by to bring us trending stories at that end. Hello, Asma'u.
Olami, it's good to see you. Good evening and welcome to Sokoto on Nationwide. The House of Representatives has condoled with the government and people of Sokoto State over the Gorenyo market attack, which claimed 43 lives. The delegation was led by the House Leader, Al-Hassan Ado Dugwa. Elhato Abdullahi reports.
Speaker House of Representatives Femi Bajabiamila has sent a 10-member delegation to condole with the government and the people of Sokoto State over the recent banditry attack at Goranyo Market, which claimed 43 lives.
We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to repose the souls of those who lost their life in some of these instances, and also pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to continue to guide our leaders right.
Governor Aminu Waziri Tambol urged the federal government to provide state-of-the-art equipment to security operatives, noting that the National Assembly has a vital role in supporting the fight against banditry and other criminalities in the country. Tambol reiterated the need for the federal government to ensure simultaneous conduct of security operations in the states worst hit by banditry. In another development, the leader of the House of Representatives was led on inspection of some projects in Sokoto State by a member representing Bodinga Tureta Dengeshuni Federal Constituency, Dr. Balarabe Shehu Kakali Shuni. The projects inspected include the ultra-modern diagnostic medical center, Farfaru, completed and equipped, ready for inauguration. The center is designed to further check medical tourism by providing the needed services to the northwestern states and neighboring Niger Republic. Also inspected was Dandima flyover, awarded to check gridlock that has for years been the experience of motorists plying the road. The project had reached an appreciable stage of completion. The lawmaker also visited the ongoing construction of Government Girls Science Academy, Kasarawa, and the 950-bed capacity Sokoto State University Teaching Hospital. In Sokoto, Dalhat Abdullahi, NTA News.
The need to support government in the ongoing fight against security challenges dominated discussions when the Shehu of Borno, Abubakar Ibn Garbay Al-Kanemi, visited his Gwandu counterpart Muhammad Ilyasu Bashar in Birnin Kebbi. Abubakar Garbadigi reports.
The Shehu of Borno, Abubakar Muhammad Ibn Garbay Al-Kanemi, said traditional leaders are duty-bound to support the federal and the state government in the fight against insecurity in the country. He said in Nigeria, every zone has its own peculiar security challenge that need urgent attention from the stakeholders. He commended President Muhammad Buhari for the unrelenting effort in the fight against banditry and other criminal activities.
We have to make our people aware that they should continuously pray to Almighty Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala, you see, to bring peace to this part of the country. Of course, in the northeast, I know we have a problem of Boko Haram and other problems, but if you move a little forward, problem of pipeline vandalism, problem of kidnapping, problem of cattle rustling, so many things.
Responding, the Emir of Gondu, Dr. Muhammad Ilyasu Bashar, urged Nigerians to continue praying for an end to the security challenge facing the country. He also charged people to support the fight by providing credible information to the security agencies. Dr. Muhammad Ilyasu Bashar also reminded the public that the security is everybody's business. As such, all stakeholders need to come together in charting away the security problems. Abarga Badigi, NTA News.
And that is our package from Sokoto. The news will continue with Lami in Abuja.
Thank you, Asma'u. Time now for some news from the world of sports.
Ahead of the two-legged FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup qualifier against Congo next month, Nigeria's Falconets head coach Christopher Danjuma has included